Thanks for visiting SouthBendTribune.com. I'm Ed Ronco, and we are here with presidential hopeful and Illinois Senator Barack Obama. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, Senator, let's get the South Bend question done here. Senator Clinton said she's coming back to the area on Saturday. It will be her second visit. We're going to see you back here soon.
Well, I'm just starting my first, but we're going to be campaigning actively in Indiana. I mean, we've got until March 6th, which means that we're going to be spending a lot of time here. This is going to be my first big road trip, multiple days. We're going to hit a lot of towns, and I'm sure that we will do a second go-around across the state before the primary on May 6th.
A lot of issues facing people all over the country. Here in the Midwest, one of the big ones is home foreclosures. Right. Indiana's 10th in the country. Senator Clinton has the 90-day moratorium plan. You have a plan of your own. What are you going to do about the problem?
Well, I've been working with Chris Dodd and Barney Frank in the Senate and the House to put together a program where the Federal Housing Administration steps in, negotiates with the borrower and the lender. The borrower is going to get a fixed mortgage that they can pay, and the lender is going to have to reduce their interest rates slightly, but will get any benefits if home values go back up. So the borrower will have to share some of the equity in the house if housing prices go back up. The point is, both take a slight loss, but you stabilize folks in their homes, and that's good for the entire community. And it will only apply to people who are actually living in the home. We don't want to help speculators. We don't want to help people who bought homes that they just plain couldn't afford. What we want to help are those who were right at the margins, who really been hurt because home values went down, or because they got drawn into deceptive loans and teaser rates that they just couldn't end up sustaining over time.
And how do you keep it from happening again?
Well, I think the most important thing is to have a strong regulatory system in place. 2 years ago, I put in place what I call the Stop Fraud Act, which would prevent predatory loans, much better disclosure, a credit rating system so that people would understand exactly what they were getting themselves into. The mortgage lenders have spent $185 million over the last several years preventing this kind of reform from happening. I think the time is now ripe for us to go ahead and put that in place.
Gas prices, certainly not a new issue this year, but obviously a big one. You have proposed in a commercial area here in Indiana a profit windfall penalty. How do you impose that without the gas company or the oil companies passing it along to consumers in the form of higher gasoline prices?
Well, look, I think that what we can do is to simply say they're making $11 billion worth of profits. I mean, their profit margins right now are astronomical. Oil hit $112 a barrel on the world oil market. A lot of what we want to see is them reinvesting in refinery capacity, which would reduce prices over the medium term, but also renewable energies. We haven't seen enough investment in the kinds of biodiesel strategies that could benefit Indiana, benefit my home state of Illinois. We've seen a huge surge in corn-based ethanol, but that's probably not going to be the long-term answer. We need to start shifting to other biomass, switchgrass, animal refuse. I mean, there are a whole range of ways that we could potentially produce energy and fuel, but we haven't made the investment, and that's why I want to put $150 billion into research over the next 10 years to develop these new strategies.
But how do you, in the short term, that windfall tax, how do you keep that from getting passed on to the public?
Well, I don't think that the answer is necessarily a sweeping tax. It may be a penalty if they are making a certain profit above a certain amount, and that goes into a fund that we reinvest in refinery capacity or clean energy. The other thing I do want to make sure of, though, is that in providing immediate relief to consumers, the most important thing that we can do is to provide a tax break to the middle class. And I was the first candidate to propose tax cuts for the middle of the country, $75,000 a year for an average individual, offsetting some of their payroll tax. Senior citizens who are making $50,000 a year or less, exempting them from income tax on their Social Security payments. That could mean an extra $1,000 in the pockets of the average family, that can, in the short term at least, offset the extraordinary hike in gas prices that we